I've asked Stephanie to talk a little bit more about the micro badging sort of badging conversation she's had with her kids, to kind of put it in the context of why she's doing that, because I think it's very similar to what we're talking about. It's a negotiation pathway.
Yeah. So we just did in-service all day, so I feel like my mind is a little distracted right now. So trying to remember the complete conversation, but basically we had around 8 to 10 students having a conversation about their personal interest goal that they just set. And they know that they're going to be showing evidence through Schoology. It's a system called Portfolios in Schoology where they can upload just about any kind of evidence that they have. And so I asked them, and they have to connect it to a character word that they're wanting to try to emulate or add to their character. For example, helpfulness. So their goal was set up around that word, to then try to show that they became more helpful, or they were showing characteristics of being helpful through these opportunities that they set for themselves. So all that being said, I asked them, so basically, how are we going to show that you became a more helpful person? You know, that you were able to bring on this part of character that you were missing, or at least try. And so they had lots of conversations, and it was really, there were moments that were just really awesome because I came up with all these, things. Well, first of all, you have to know what the word means, and you have to show that you know what the word means, and then you have to have a plan. And then they talked about you need to have some action, but some type of action in the goal itself, but then you need feedback, and then you need to be able to reflect. I mean, they had all these, like, I'm just sitting there recording, and they're having these like great conversations, sixth graders, about using these words, and then one person said, but then you're not done, because then you could change your goal and then get feedback and reflect again, and then change your goal. And they're like, it's just like a circle. It was the cutest thing. And I was like, yeah. And so then they got into this conversation about eventually, once I figured out all the things that they felt like they needed to show for evidence, we talked about how Schoology provides the opportunity to have badges, like, you earned the right to move forward in your goal because you were able to show that you really understood the word helpfulness, and then move forward. And we talked about, well, what are those badges, and what are their titles? And then they talked about what they felt like in the feedback one, and the reflection and the action, because there were so many times you needed to do it to improve, that there should be a bronze, a silver, and a gold, showing that you were able to not only move forward in your goal and improve, but also by the time you got to gold, it was a deeper understanding, which I thought was really cool that they had made that connection. And then they talked about, well, what does the evidence look like when you're getting feedback? And so then we had a couple kids in there that were wanting to start a new business. That was kind of their word was ingenious. And so they talked about, well, our feedback will look different than yours. If you're tutoring, you'll get feedback from the person you're tutoring, maybe from other teachers. And my feedback would be from a business in the community. It may be several businesses. And it might look like an interview, or it might look like my business plan with scratches all over it. And, so I thought that was really great that they were noticing that it look different, and it'll come from different avenues. And then they also said at the end, they need to present their portfolio, but they need to present it to someone that has helped them through the process. So their presentation will then be that business person, with also another chance to get feedback, which it was just great to hear. I think what Sam's been talking about this whole time is students just really know what's needed, and we just need them to get the opportunity to speak about it, and it just comes out. They were just so excited about it too. So, yeah. Oh, and the last thing, sorry. Then they said, well, so these badges, what are they going to look like? Are they stickers? Well, what are they? And I was like, well, actually, we did talk about having a more meaningful badge. I said one thing that crossed my mind was like a 3D statue where you have the pieces to your goal and you add to that statue every time you gain a new badge. And they loved that. And then we talked about how Mr. Weiss in the shop has this tool, this laser cutter, and we can make maybe a puzzle, and where it has gears, and maybe the gears connect and do something. And so it just got them even thinking even further about these badges and making them more making them more of a display. They got pretty excited about that. So we'll let you know how that goes.
Stephanie, I think that is so cool. And I'm not moving from that topic, but I'm wondering, when these magical moments start happening in a class, because we can't schedule them, right? Like it's happening, all of a sudden a comment, oh my God, it's starting to happen. Is there a way to like, okay, like here's, like, how do we have somebody go grab the camera who's a student, just start filming the camera? See what I'm like, how do we document? Is there a way, I'm just wondering if we need to have like a plan for that, like, hey, it's happening, and have a code word like epiphany, and a kid gets up, he grabs the tripod, you know what I'm saying? Because these things go by and then it's like, oh, boy, somebody really should have recorded that. And it might just be somebody taking their iPhone out, recording it, like not even filming it, but just, this is a pitch for everybody to have a go-to, oh my God, it's happening. Who grabs the bat phone or the bat camera or whatever. Anyway, that's a beautiful thing. I love Terry. And I love that idea of not just badges, but like interactive, like they build and do something. Very cool. Thanks.
It actually is on video. We did all 3 days. So it's a lot, but it's cute to see them. Yeah, we can cut and paste things in after it.
So that means Stephanie's going to get her badge for one of our targets around being able to archive, like grab an archive, right? Fantastic. We love that.